I want you to pause for just a moment and really think about what brought you here today. Out of the millions of videos you could have clicked on, out of the infinite scroll of content that flows past your screen every single day, something made you stop right here, right now. That wasn't an accident, that wasn't random chance or a simple algorithm doing its job. No, my friend, that was the universe speaking directly to you, placing exactly what you need right in front of your eyes at the precise moment you were ready to receive it. And I need you to understand something crucial before we go any further into this journey together. The message you're about to hear isn't just another motivational speech or a collection of empty words designed to make you feel good for a few minutes before you move on with your day. This is a direct transmission from the forces that guide your life, and every single word you're about to hear has been carefully placed in your path because your soul is ready for transformation. But here's what I need from you, and this is important. I need you to commit to staying with me until the very last word of this video. The universe works in mysterious ways, and sometimes the most powerful message, the one that will completely shift your perspective and change everything, comes in the final moments when you least expect it. So make me a promise right now that you won't leave early, that you won't let distractions pull you away, because what's waiting for you at the end of this message could be the answer you've been searching for during all those sleepless nights when you wondered if things would ever get better. And as we journey through this together, I want you to do something that will amplify the power of what you're about to receive. Leave a comment below sharing one thing you're grateful for today, or simply tell me where in the world you're watching from. Because your energy, your participation, your willingness to engage creates a ripple effect that helps this message reach others who need it just as desperately as you did when you clicked on this video. Let's create something powerful together. Let's reach 100 comments on this video, because that collective energy will send a signal to the universe that we're ready, that we're listening, that we're open to receiving the abundance and guidance that's been waiting for us all along. Now let me tell you a story. A true story about someone who learned to recognize the signs that the universe was sending. Someone who almost missed the greatest transformation of their life because they were too caught up in their own struggles to see that help was arriving in unexpected forms. This person, let's call them Alex, because this story is actually a combination of so many stories I've witnessed, so many lives I've seen transformed when people finally opened their eyes to the guidance that was always there, waiting patiently for them to notice. Alex was going through what many of us go through, that dark period where everything seems to be falling apart simultaneously. Their job was suffocating them, draining every ounce of creativity and passion they once had. They would wake up every morning with a heavy feeling in their chest, that sense of dread that comes when you know you're spending your precious life energy on something that doesn't align with who you truly are or who you're meant to become. Their relationship was crumbling too, not because of any dramatic betrayal or explosive arguments, but because of something far more insidious, that slow fade that happens when two people stop really seeing each other, when conversations become transactions and connection becomes routine. Financially, Alex was stuck in a cycle that felt impossible to break, living paycheck to paycheck, watching their dreams of freedom and security slip further away with each passing month, feeling like no matter how hard they worked, they could never get ahead, never catch a break, never find that opportunity that would change everything. But here's what Alex didn't realize at the time, and this is what I want you to understand about your own life right now. The universe was already working behind the scenes, orchestrating a series of events that would lead to complete transformation. The signs were everywhere, but Alex wasn't looking for them yet. They hadn't learned how to read the language that the universe speaks, that subtle vocabulary of synchronicities and coincidences, of repeated patterns and unexpected encounters that are actually carefully placed guideposts on the path to your highest good. One morning, Alex woke up from a dream that felt different from ordinary dreams. In this dream, they were standing at a crossroads, and there was a door that kept appearing no matter which direction they walked. The door was painted a specific shade of blue, a color that Alex hadn't thought about in years, but immediately recognized as the same blue that was painted on their grandmother's door when they were a child, a place where they had always felt safe and loved and accepted exactly as they were. When Alex woke up, they dismissed the dream as random neurons firing, stress manifesting in strange imagery, nothing more than the brain processing the chaos of daily life. But that same day on their lunch break, Alex decided to take a different route for their walk, choosing to turn left instead of their usual right, and there on a street they'd never explored before was a small bookshop they'd never noticed, and in the window was a display with the same shade of blue that had been in their dream. Something pulled Alex inside. Not logical thought, but a feeling, an intuition, that quiet voice that speaks when we're finally willing to listen, instead of overthinking and analyzing and talking ourselves out of every instinct that doesn't come with a guarantee or a logical explanation. Inside that bookshop, Alex found themselves drawn to a specific shelf, and their hand reached out almost automatically to pull out a book that they would later realize changed the entire trajectory of their life. The book was about recognizing abundance patterns, about understanding that when you're in alignment with your true purpose, the universe doesn't just open one door, but reveals an entire hallway of possibilities that were hidden from view when you were operating from a place of fear and limitation. Alex bought the book, and that night, instead of numbing themselves with television or social media, or any of the usual distractions we use to avoid facing the uncomfortable truths about our lives, they read it, cover to cover. Something shifted in that reading, something fundamental about how they understood their place in the world and their relationship with the forces that guide us all. The book talked about something that Alex had never really considered before. The idea that financial struggle isn't actually about money at all, but about energy and belief systems, and the stories we tell ourselves about what we deserve and what's possible for someone like us. It explained that when you change your relationship with abundance, when you stop seeing yourself as a victim of circumstances and start recognizing yourself as a creator of your reality, the material world has no choice but to reflect that internal shift back to you in tangible, practical, life-changing ways. Alex started implementing what they learned, but not in some grandiose overnight transformation kind of way. They started small with the only thing any of us can really control, their own thoughts and responses to whatever life presented. When anxiety about money came up, instead of spiraling into panic and worst-case scenarios, Alex would pause and ask themselves a different question. What if the universe is actually supporting me right now in ways I can't see yet? What if this challenge is actually redirecting me towards something better than what I was trying to force into existence through worry and control? At work, when that familiar suffocation would start to close in, Alex would take a moment to look for one thing, just one small thing, that they could appreciate about the situation, not to gaslight themselves into accepting a toxic environment, but to shift their vibration just enough to become a match for new opportunities that operate at a higher frequency than the job they were ready to leave behind. And something remarkable started to happen, not immediately, not in the dramatic movie montage kind of way we're conditioned to expect, but gradually, consistently, undeniably. Alex started noticing things they'd been blind to before. A colleague mentioned a company that was hiring for exactly the kind of role Alex had dreamed about but never thought they were qualified for, and instead of immediately dismissing it with all the usual reasons why it wouldn't work out, Alex felt that same pull, that same intuitive knowing that had led them into the bookshop, and they applied. The interview process was unlike anything Alex had experienced before, not because it was easy, or because they didn't have moments of doubt and fear, but because they approached it differently, with a sense of curiosity rather than desperation, with an understanding that if this was meant for them, the universe would align the circumstances, and if it wasn't, something even better was already on its way. They got the job, and with it came not just a significant increase in salary, but also the kind of work that made them excited to wake up in the morning, the kind of challenges that stretched their abilities without breaking their spirit, the kind of environment where their ideas were valued and their contributions mattered. But the transformation didn't stop there, because when you shift one area of your life into alignment, that energy radiates outward and touches everything else. The relationship that had been dying a slow death suddenly had space to either heal or end with grace, and Alex found the courage to have the honest conversations they'd been avoiding for months. They discovered that their partner had been feeling the same disconnection, the same sense that they'd both been going through the motions rather than building something real, and together they made the decision to either recommit with full presence or part ways with love and respect for what they'd shared. This honesty, This willingness to face truth even when it's uncomfortable created an opening for authentic connection to flow back in, and they chose to rebuild their relationship on a foundation of real communication and mutual support rather than habit and fear of being alone. Financially, the increase in income certainly helped, but more importantly, Alex's entire relationship with money transformed. They started seeing abundance everywhere, not just in their bank account, but in unexpected gifts from friends, in opportunities to earn extra income through side projects that aligned with their passions, in sudden windfalls like tax refunds they'd forgotten about, or old accounts that had been accumulating interest without their attention. They learned to practice gratitude, not just for what they had, but for what was on its way. Trusting that the universe is always working to bring you what you need at exactly the right time, even when your limited human perspective can't see the bigger picture of how all the pieces are fitting together to create your greatest good. And here's the crucial part, the lesson that I want you to take deep into your heart and mind and soul. None of this would have happened if Alex hadn't been willing to recognize the signs and follow them, even when they didn't make logical sense, even when fear said to stay small and safe and stick with what was familiar, no matter how miserable it made them. That dream about the blue door was a message, and the bookshop appearing at just the right moment was the universe responding to Alex's unconscious prayer for guidance. And every step after that was a choice to trust the process even when the outcome wasn't guaranteed, to take action in alignment with the signs rather than paralyzed by overthinking and doubt. Now, I'm sharing this story with you because you need to understand something fundamental about your own life right now. You are currently surrounded by signs, by messages, by guideposts that are trying to lead you toward your next level of evolution and abundance and peace, but you might be missing them because you're too focused on the problems, too consumed by worry, too convinced that you have to figure everything out with your limited human mind, rather than trusting the infinite intelligence that brought you into existence and continues to breathe life into you with every moment. The universe is always communicating with you, always responding to your energy and your intentions, always working to bring you into alignment with your highest good. But you have to be willing to notice, to pay attention, to slow down enough to see the synchronicities and feel the intuitive pulls that are guiding you toward exactly what you've been asking for. Let me give you some practical ways to start recognizing these signs in your own life, because this isn't about wishful thinking or passive waiting for miracles to fall from the sky. This is about developing a relationship with the intelligent force that orchestrates the movement of galaxies and the changing of seasons and the beating of your heart without any conscious effort from you. First, start paying attention to repetition. When you see the same number sequence multiple times in a day, when someone mentions the same book or idea that you were just thinking about, when a particular song keeps playing everywhere you go, these are not random coincidences, but coordinated messages designed to get your attention and point you in a specific direction. The universe doesn't have a physical voice, so it speaks through patterns and repetitions and synchronicities that are too specific to be dismissed as mere chance when you're actually paying attention. Second, notice the people who appear in your life at pivotal moments. That stranger who strikes up a conversation that happens to contain exactly the perspective you needed. That old friend who reaches out after years of silence with an opportunity that aligns perfectly with your current goals. That mentor who appears just when you're ready to give up and helps you see possibilities you couldn't see on your own. These are all agents of the universe, human angels sent to deliver messages and assistance at precisely the right time. Third, trust your intuition above all else. That gut feeling that says yes or no before your logical mind has time to construct all the reasons and justifications and rationalizations. Your intuition is your direct line to universal wisdom, the part of you that knows things without needing to understand how it knows. And when you learn to honor it instead of override it with fear-based thinking, you'll find yourself being led on the path of least resistance toward your greatest good. Let me talk to you now about the psychological aspect of all this, because I want you to feel calm and grounded as you process what I'm sharing with you. If you're someone who's been struggling with anxiety or depression, or that pervasive sense that nothing ever works out for you, I want you to understand that those feelings are real and valid, but they're not the truth about who you are or what's possible for you. Our minds are incredibly powerful, And when we've experienced disappointment or trauma or prolonged stress, our brains develop protective patterns designed to keep us safe from further hurt. And one of those patterns is hyper-focusing on potential dangers and threats, while filtering out evidence of support and opportunity. This is a survival mechanism that served our ancestors well when actual physical threats were constant. But in our modern world, it keeps us trapped in cycles of fear and limitation, even when we're surrounded by possibilities for growth and transformation. The work of recognizing universal signs is actually a practice of retraining your brain to notice what's working, what's supporting you, what's trying to help you move forward, rather than keeping you stuck in defensive mode. When you actively look for signs of universal support, you're creating new neural pathways that make it easier to see opportunity, feel hope, and take action from a place of empowerment rather than desperation. This doesn't mean bypassing or denying difficult emotions. It means creating space for both the challenge and the support to coexist, acknowledging that life is hard and the universe is helping you through it simultaneously. From a financial perspective, I want to address something that keeps so many people trapped in scarcity: the belief that money is separate from spirituality, that pursuing abundance somehow makes you less evolved or less spiritual or shallow and materialistic. This is one of the most damaging misconceptions that exists, and it keeps good people stuck in struggle unnecessarily. The universe is abundant by nature. Look at the millions of trees that produce fruit, the endless grains of sand on beaches around the world, the countless stars in the night sky. Abundance is the natural state of reality, and you are not separate from that abundance. Money is simply energy, a tool that allows you to create the life you desire, to serve others more effectively, to reduce stress so you can focus on your purpose rather than constant survival mode. When you're struggling financially, it's nearly impossible to show up as your best self in any area of life, and there is nothing noble or spiritual about unnecessary suffering. The universe wants you to thrive, to prosper, to have more than enough, not so you can hoard resources, but so you can be free to contribute your unique gifts without the constant weight of financial anxiety crushing your creativity and joy. Start affirming daily that you are supported, that abundance is your birthright, that money flows to you easily and frequently from expected and unexpected sources. Watch how your relationship with money begins to shift when you stop villainizing it and start seeing it as a form of universal energy that wants to flow through your life. Regarding love and relationships, the universe is always trying to bring you into connections that serve your highest good, but you have to be willing to release relationships that have run their course, even when it's painful, even when you're afraid of being alone, even when you've invested years into something that's no longer growing. One of the clearest signs the universe sends is a persistent feeling of wrongness in a relationship. That sense that you're performing or pretending or tolerating rather than genuinely connecting and growing together. If you're in a relationship that consistently drains you, that requires you to make yourself smaller or less authentic to keep the peace, that keeps you stuck in old patterns instead of evolving into your best self, the universe is sending you a message that it's time to make a change. This doesn't always mean ending the relationship immediately. Sometimes it means having brave conversations and doing the work to rebuild on a healthier foundation. But you have to be honest about whether both people are willing to do that work or if you're just prolonging the inevitable. And if you're single and longing for partnership, the universe is asking you to become the kind of person you want to attract, to cultivate within yourself the qualities you desire in a partner. Because like attracts like in the realm of relationships, just as it does in every other area of life. Spiritually, what you're experiencing right now is an awakening, a remembering of who you really are, beneath all the conditioning and fear and limiting beliefs that have been layered onto your consciousness since childhood. The universe brought you to this video because you're ready for the next stage of your evolution, ready to step into a more empowered version of yourself that knows how to work with universal laws rather than against them. Your spiritual practice doesn't have to look like anyone else's. It doesn't require you to adopt specific beliefs or rituals or traditions. It simply requires you to cultivate a relationship with something larger than your individual self. Whether you call that God or source or universe or higher power, or simply the interconnected web of existence that binds us all together. Spend time in meditation or prayer or nature or whatever practice helps you feel connected to that larger reality. And from that place of connection, ask for guidance and then watch for the signs, follow the intuitive pulls, take the aligned actions, and trust that you're being led exactly where you need to go. The peace you're seeking isn't found in having everything figured out or having all your problems solved. It's found in trusting that you're supported even in the midst of uncertainty, that you're guided even when you can't see the full path, that you're loved by the universe unconditionally regardless of your mistakes or perceived failures, or how far you think you've strayed from where you're supposed to be. I want you to understand something crucial as we approach the end of our time together today. Everything you've been through, every hardship and disappointment and moment of despair has been preparing you for what's coming next. The universe doesn't waste experiences, doesn't allow suffering without purpose, doesn't lead you through darkness without the intention of bringing you into greater light on the other side. Your struggles have been developing your strength. Your setbacks have been redirecting you toward better paths. Your pain has been deepening your capacity for compassion and wisdom and authentic connection with others who are fighting battles you now understand intimately. Nothing has been wasted. Nothing has been in vain. And the fact that you're still here, still seeking, still willing to believe that better days are possible, despite everything you've endured, that is proof that the universe has not given up on you and has no intention of abandoning you now. The help you've been praying for is already in motion. The breakthrough you've been longing for is already taking shape in the invisible realm before it manifests in physical reality. And your job is simply to stay open, stay aware, stay willing to recognize and follow the signs that are guiding you home to yourself and to the life you were always meant to live. So here's what I want you to do after you finish watching this video. First, take a moment to leave a comment below sharing something, anything, a question you have, a sign you've noticed recently, a shift you're committing to making, or simply tell me where you're watching from because I genuinely want to know who's on this journey with us. Your comment matters more than you realize, not just because it helps this message reach more people who need it, but because the act of participating, of claiming your voice and your presence in this community sends a signal to the universe that you're engaged, you're ready, you're willing to be an active participant in your own transformation. Let's create something powerful together by reaching 100 comments on this video, because that collective energy amplifies the message and helps it find its way to others who are searching for exactly what you found here today. Second, I need you to subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. And here's why that's important. When you subscribe and watch videos all the way through, the algorithm recognizes that you're genuinely interested in this content, and it will prioritize showing you future videos before they show them to people who don't subscribe or who click away before finishing. That means you'll be among the first to receive the next message when the universe has something important to share through this platform. And you won't miss the guidance and inspiration and practical wisdom that could make the difference between staying stuck and finally breaking through. The universe works through every available channel, including technology and social media, and yes, even YouTube algorithms, so by subscribing and engaging, you're actually making yourself more available to receive the help and guidance that's trying to reach you. To continue helping you on this journey, the universe asks only one thing: leave a motivational comment on this video. Share something that inspires you or encourages others. Contribute your energy to this collective space we're creating together. Those who watch until the end are prioritized by the platform. They're the ones who get notified first about new content. They're the ones who stay connected to this community and this flow of wisdom and support. We need to hit our goal together so we can keep bringing you more stories like this, more guidance, more reminders that you're not alone and you're not forgotten, and the universe is actively working on your behalf right now, even in ways you can't see yet. This isn't just about me creating content. It's about us building a community of people who understand that we're all connected, that when one person rises, it creates a template for others to follow, that by sharing these truths and supporting each other, we're participating in a collective awakening that's transforming the world one soul at a time. And if you want, tell me from which corner of the world you are watching this video. Your comment matters, and I want to read it and respond to you. For more exciting stories like this, click on the video that appears on your screen right now.